What's going on, guys? JPP Duel here. Hope you guys are enjoying your Thursday. And for today's matchup, I'm bringing you a prankkids versus swordsoul matchup with me as the prankkids player going first. Now, I did win the coin toss for this matchup, but I was so sad when I saw the first 5 card draws in my hand. I had no combo starter card, no fusion destiny to go into my DPE either, so the best I can do is set down my crossout designator and hope for the best. Turn change, my opponent draws a card, he specials out Adara on the field. So this lets me know he's playing a swordsoul deck. Now if my opponent had any combo starter card in his hand, let's say a Taya or a Moye or any of those, or a way to search for those like swordsoul emergence, this was pretty much a game over at this point because my opponent would have been able to OTK me and kill me off. So let's see what my opponent does. First of all, he goes into Monk of Tianyi off of the Adara, and then he normals out a Deskbot 001 from his hand. Now this pretty much lets me know he does not have any swordsoul cards in his hand or a way to search for those said cards. So he is pretty much bricked as well, but he's not as bricked as me because he has a way to go into his full combo, because he could go into his Auroradon into his Olion and do all sorts of stuff with that. So with this, he goes into the Crystron Health combo. Crystron Health comes on the field. Thankfully, I had an Ash Blossom in my hand, so I use Ash Blossom to negate my opponent's Crystron Health play. He proceeds to call by the grave my Ash Blossom. Thankfully, I had a Crossout Designate on the field as well, so I could use Crossout Designate to negate his call by the grave. Now I was lucky because my opponent did not have a Crossout Designate of his own to negate my Crossout Designate, so this goes through, Crystron Health gets negated, and he goes into battle phase, whacks me in the face for 1500 with Crystron Health, ends his turn without setting any cards whatsoever on his side. Pretty lucky for me, because he was semi-bricked, I was bricked completely, he was semi-bricked. Now it all comes down to who draws their starter card first. Let's see what we draw into. I draw into a semi-combo starter card because this card lets me search for my combo starter card, but if my opponent has an Ash Blossom in his hand, which I'm pretty sure he does with the way he bricked in the beginning, so I'm assuming he has more hand traps in his hand and not the combo starter cards for himself. So I was hoping for him to not have Ash Blossom, but surprise surprise, he has Ash Blossom. This was a heads up play on my part, on his part, because if he allows the prankkids play search to go through and waits to negate my first graveyard activation, he cannot do that because I could just chain block the first graveyard activation with my prankkids plays since he has a monster on the field, and Doodle-Doo search getting negated would not matter to us because we could just use instant fusion to get more materials on the field to go into a combo afterwards. So heads up play from my opponent, because since I showed him that I did not have any combo starter cards turn 1, and usually you would never ever Ash Blossom a prankkids plays, but in this scenario, since I did show him I did not have any combo starter card turn 1, heads up play for him to Ash Blossom my prankkids placer so that I cannot go into my own combo starter card. But this is where he made a mistake. He Ash Blossom my prankkids play search and then max seed afterwards. So he made a heads up play, then made a dumb play afterwards. Like I already showed him I have no combo starter card turn 1. There was no reason for him to waste his maxi afterwards at this point, because the prankkids place was my gateway into my combo. So again, it resolves. Maxi, we were not able to combo this turn anyways. So then I use my Raigeki, pop his Crystron Hulk, end my turn. Now this is a game where it comes down to, again, who draws their combo starter card first. I was hoping for him to not draw into anything, draws a card, ends his turn. He did not draw into a combo starter card. Now I desperately hope to draw into one. I did draw into my combo starter card, which was the Dropsies. So with this, we go off into our combo. As long as my opponent does not have Ash Blossom or Maxi, we are good. I do not care even if he has a nib, because I have instant fusion I can use to play through his nib. So I'm going through my combo motions, use my Doodle-Doo search for my prankkids plays, Pansy sends my Panda to the graveyard, my 5th special hits the field, my opponent instantly nibs me. He had a nib in his hand, that's okay. I use instant fusion, go into my rocket ride, and then tribute my rocket ride to basically reset my field to the way it was before my opponent nibbed me. Target the Doodle-Doo plus the Lamsies in the graveyard, put them on the field. Activate Doodle-Doo, target the Panda plus the Pansies in the graveyard, add them to my hand. Basically pretty much a one card combo, even playing through nib because we did have instant fusion in our hand. I'm only gonna do a one Doodle-Doo combo because I wanted to save the Kaiju in my hand. I would rather save the Kaiju than go into some other card that may or may not be useful at this point. The chances of the other card I may draw into being useful were pretty low. So I kept the Kaiju in my hand, only went through one Doodle-Doo, then went into Bow Wow Bark. Activate my Lamsies, chain block with my Prankkids Place, and Lamsies activate, special out Fancy, set down my Pandemonium. At the end of the turn, activate Pranks, recycle 3 card, draw into a crossout designator. Not a good draw, but that's okay. Opponent's draw phase, activate our Bow Wow Bark, send it to the graveyard, target 2 cards I need for the Butler combo, add them to my hand. With this, we have our Butler combo. Now, my opponent drew into a combo starter card. Well, it was a semi-combo starter card because aside from the nib, he had a Longyan in his hand and he drew into another Longyan. So he could activate Longyan from his hand, discard the other Longyan, special the Longyan on the field, get a token, afterwards go into Baron de Fleur or into Sovereign, whatever he chose to do. So with this, as soon as he activates Longyan, I chain link my Pandemonium to it because once it resolves, I will just be able to use my Butler to pop his field. So again, this whole game came down to who drew into their starter cards first. Thankfully, I did draw into my own, so I could negate my opponent, well not negate, but destroy his field completely afterwards after going into my Butler. So right here, I go into my Butler, get my graveyard activations, chain link my Butler to it, and my opponent knows what's about to happen and he outright scoops afterwards. That's going to be the end of the game, guys. If you guys do like this kind of videos, please consider hitting the like button, subscribing to my channel for more daily prank and video uploads, and if you guys are interested in the live version of all of this, I do live stream on Twitch, twitch.tv/jpbduel. Link along with my schedule is going to be in the video description itself for you guys to check out. This is JPBduel signing out for today. See you guys in the next video. Peace!